Hi guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Jared. Today we're going to be doing some improvements in the garage here. As you can see at the moment, it's not the brightest place to work. I have done the best I can with some lights on the walls, as well as a single light on the ceiling. And what I plan to do is install some of those fancy Hexagon lighting on the roof to hopefully improve the video quality in here and also the ease of working on cars. Because as you know, it's really hard to see what you're doing when you don't have enough light. And usually I have to keep carrying around this thing everywhere I go to be able to light the shot and see what I'm doing. So hopefully with this new light on the ceiling, it's going to achieve both of those at the same time. This lighting kit was relatively cheap. It was probably about just over $300, and I ordered it from Aliexpress, and it came pretty expressly in about a week, which was good. Normally you have to wait 6 weeks for these things to come through a shipping container, but that must have been air freighted over. One thing to note with these kits is they do use a lot of power. So in this kit there's just over 60 individual lights in this kit, and altogether it's about 550 watts. So at continual use of 550 watts, your electricity bill will go up very quickly. So for that reason, I actually decided to get the slightly smaller one instead of the 700 watt. And I think it should still be enough for this space. So at the moment, these two lights mounted on the side there, these were on the ceiling at the last garage. And I've got one of those LED lights which you just stick into the normal bayonet socket. Then still I've got these LED lights underneath the workbench. They will remain. And I got another one of those lights over here. These ones on the side are really good for when you're working alongside the car. This light in the middle is not enough for what we want to do. So that's where this kit comes in. So this is the kit I've gone ahead and purchased. It looks like this in the picture. In the kit, this is everything that it comes with. So we've got a smaller 44 centimeter light. And these things are incredibly light and just feel like plastic. So the side is supposed to be some like aluminium, metal's very thin, and the front is a white plastic. And when you look inside, you can see they're just some LED strips in there, and they're linked together with these two pins that are each end. Then to join them together, they give you all these different pieces. There's Y pieces, straight pieces, 90 degrees, and these 120 degree pieces. There's the longer ones down here and slightly shorter ones here. So I assume these ones are for the inner hexagon sections, and these are for the straight border around the outside. They include these clips which clip on the outside of the light to mount it on the ceiling, or alternatively they have these little rings where you can screw the actual bracket. That's the direction I'm going to go, and also these cable ties. They supply these two wires, so these will plug into one of these connectors, and there's two of them, one for the inner section, one for the outer section, and you'll need to terminate them yourself. So depending where you live, you might need to get a licensed electrician to connect that. I went ahead and purchased this 240 volt remote switch. So it comes with this on and off remote, and you just wire the power in and then the light in. And when you activate that, you can turn the light on and off. In here I have a single light switch for the light in the middle, and I don't want to have to run another wire and another switch. So I'm going to connect it to the light in the middle. So when I first flick the switch on, the light in the middle will come on, and I can use that when I don't need full brightness to save power. And with the remote, I'll be able to press it and then turn on the larger light if needed. So to start, what I'm gonna do is I've just got this laser set up on the ceiling. It's a bit hard to see at the moment because the light's on, but I've just got it down the center of the room. And I'm gonna use that to set up the middle of the lighting, just to make sure that it's not offset one side to the other. And I'm gonna start with the pattern, I think, in the middle against that light, and then work my way out. I'm gonna use these little screws just in the section of the bracket, just because if you use screws that are too long, you're not sure what's on the other side of the ceiling. You may accidentally go through something electrical or plumbing. So I'm just going to use these short screws because I know they won't go through to the other side of the plaster. And I think these brackets holding these lights should be more than enough because of how light they are. The hardest part of this install is starting on the first hexagon. So you need to make sure you have a starting point where you're going to expand out from. So for me, I'm starting the second hexagon just next to this light, which I'm using as the marker for the center of the room. It is easier to connect the pieces before you put them up. If you have a friend, you could probably do the whole hexagon in one piece. When I went to install the last piece, I realized that it wasn't perfectly skew, and you'll need to leave the screw loose so you can push in the last light. Then after that, I had to go through and actually re-screw one of the holes which I'd already attached. Alright, so I have some feedback after installing the first hexagon. First thing that is apparent is that it is quite difficult to click them together, and that is because of this locking clip here. When you slide it over the light, there's actually two holes, and when you first push it over, the clip gets stuck in the first one, then you have to pull the tab up to slide it into the second one. And when you're trying to do that on the roof there with your hands above your head, it's very difficult. And if you've already screwed this to the roof, you can't get much of an angle on it. So the last couple, what I did was I actually just broke off that tab with some side cutters, and it is easier to clip them together. It is still in there very tight, not enough that it's going to fall apart. And all the hexagons are going to be screwed together, so they're not going to come loose. The next one is that I recommend to not screw all of the brackets in, because when I started screwing them in and I went to put this last one in, it did line up with the center. So I had to undo a few screws and maneuver the hexagon into a shape that was actually straight through that. So do your first two and then maybe clip the rest together and then do the last two. Update. Just got the middle 4 hexagons installed. Definitely need the laser to make sure that it's all straight. And the cutting of the tabs is definitely the way to go. Even then, some of these, most of them, they don't clip together very nicely, even with the clip gone. I think that this plastic piece is not, it's bowed in slightly in the middle. So you have to squeeze this light together, sometimes even the top piece, to get it to go in. Not particularly high quality, and a lot of these lights actually have dents and damage from transportation as well that I'm finding. But these little screws are working, you just can't put too much force, otherwise it'll pull through the plaster. So next is to finish the hexagons on this side and the other side, and then the middle piece will be done. Another update, just finished installing the other hexagons, so that's the full centerpiece done now. Only problem is the There's supposed to be a Y piece to go in the corner to connect to power, and they've given me one less Y connector than I need, so I can't actually connect this middle section just yet. So I'm just going to move on to the outside one and get that one situated. I'm just not sure how much gap to leave on the sides, so I'm going to try and arrange it on the floor first and then move it up. Alright, so it's the next day. I just finished putting up the perimeter pieces, as you can see now. And I actually ran the cable through the ceiling there. They shorted me one Y piece, so I just have that not connected at the moment. They're going to send me a new Y piece. And I'm also one straight piece short, but that is also because they gave me extra lights. And even after that, I still have 2 lights spare, so that's good just in case one breaks. So after I installed this back piece, I had extra lights, so I added 2 more short ones to the end there and there, so extended that one back. In retrospect, what I would have done was I would have added 1 more into the end here and made it wider, because you can see it touches the sides there, and I probably would have preferred a bit more width. So with the power, you can see I've just got it connected to that light there and the box mounted on the ceiling. I tried it with the box covered and the reception wasn't great. So pretty much how it's wired is these 2 are joined together, and that's joined into that box, and then from that box into the light. So this is just with the middle light on. As you can see, it's not too bad. That is a 50-watt work light that I just picked up off eBay. And then now with this remote, if I press it, turns on the rest of the lights and off and on. Huge difference in the lighting. The only thing kind of weird is the reflection of the light now on the cars. Makes for a good picture cinematic effect, but I'm not sure how it's going to go with filming. And on my iPhone, the problem I had was the 2 frequencies of the light, there was some flashing or flickering. So hopefully it's not a problem on this camera. So mini update. I've just gone ahead and put these flags up along the sides of the garage that I had bought before, just to make it a little bit more decorative. And then also, as you saw, I had a couple of these spare foam panels left over from my office that I've put up, because it is quite echoey in here at the moment. I need to order some more to do this side as well, and then it'll be complete. So that's a wrap for another video. My thoughts on the lights are, they look really good and they work no problems, but the quality of the light, how well they clip together, it's not the best. But given the price, I think for the money, it's very cheap. They came very quickly, everything worked. So I think if you're on a budget and you want these Hexagon lights, I would recommend them for that price, but don't have high expectations of what you're receiving. I think if you follow my tips with cutting those tabs off and trying to assemble as much before you put it up as possible, that's going to be the best result for you. If you have any questions, put them down below. If not, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.